It is Monday, June 9th here in central Ohio. It's kind of rainy today, but we're going to dodge some raindrops and do some crop scouting, so come along with me. First thing we're looking at today is a cornfield. This again is central Ohio. This cornfield was planted on May the 26th. Couple things I want to look at here. We are on the split of a seed treatment trial. So on the left-hand side, we have a product called Epivio. It's a new product that Syngenta is trialing to see if this helps with emergence, ultimately yield at the end of the day. And on the right-hand side here, that is not treated with Epivio. Let's have a look and see if we can notice any distinguishable differences. I kind of doubt it, just based upon the weather that we've had since this was planted, but we'll have a look and see. The hybrid is Golden Harvest 10U97. Here on the treated side, we see really good uniformity. Planter did a good job here, so happy with that. Let's see, on the left-hand side here, the untreated, also seeing pretty good uniformity as well. Maybe a little bit better on the treated portion versus the untreated, but nothing that I would say is real distinguishable at this point. The second thing that I was very curious to see is whether or not we had any herbicide injury. So let's take a look at these little plants. And I am not seeing any herbicide injury at all. The reason that this is important to evaluate is that this was sprayed with a new product. The new product is called Certain, and it is a newer product from BASF that is an encapsulated version of Sharpen, and they are actually touting this as a early post application. I think you're allowed to post spray up to V3 corn with it. This was sprayed when corn was VE, not quite to V1 yet, so really early on. This was sprayed about 5 days ago, a little under 5 days ago now, and really not seeing any damage associated with it at all. So the formulation in the encapsulation of that Sharpen has worked. So very little to no crop response at all. Clean field here, so that's what we're wanting to see. Corn looks good color, off to a good start. Now let's go take a look at some soybeans. All right, we're out here looking at this bean field, and I think we're going to see this in a lot of bean fields. This was planted towards the end of April. Pretty hilly stuff. You can see some of the hills and whatnot that we have going on here. But we have quite a bit of residue on the ground, and it's just patchy. There's little spots like this where clearly the slugs had a heyday on these beans. You know, you can see the leaves are pretty chewed through. Cotyledons are beat up pretty bad too. So what we're seeing here is just a few of these. They're not even totally bare, but really low stand spots. If a guy was going to be out here with the planter anyway, it'd probably be nice to just come through and fill in some of these spots. We'll see if the grower wants to do that or not. Be more of a weed control thing than anything else. But yeah, there's just a handful of these spots in this field. In fact, there's one of the culprits himself. That is a big sucker. I mean, he's almost 2 knuckles long. That is a big slug. That's the problem that we're fighting. And just for good measure, there's another one. Another big old sucker. 1, 2, right here. Plenty of evidence of them going to work. These rainy, cloudy days are not doing us any favors. ready to have some sunshine and some heat, I tell you what. One, two. See if we can get you to see this one over here. Maybe if the camera will zoom, it won't. Okay, so I'm just gonna walk. 3 on that dude there. And then we got this Boone and Crockett slug right here on the bean plane itself. They're everywhere. Dang it. And again, folks, there's not a great way of controlling them. We need some sunshine and we need some heat to get these guys out of here. Because we're gonna keep seeing more and more of this stuff. They are just wrecking these beans. Shoot. All right, we got a gap right here. Look how that one's skeletonized. Oh, I wonder why. Probably because you have that dude there, and you got that dude right there. They're everywhere. It's a plague. Wrap for this field. I think the grower should probably come in and patch some stuff. If he's gonna be over here, this right here behind me, along the trees, there's clearly a groundhog over there. Back up in that way. And so there's just nothing over there. And then down here in this bottom, you know, if it ever dries up, because we got standing water right now, may as well fill it in while you're here, that sort of thing. I don't know if you guys are into hills. Pretty steep one right there. Probably wouldn't roll any equipment down it, but it's sizable. All right, on to the next one. All right, field 3. We got to do a creek crossing. Come to Eastern Ohio, they said. Come farm, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Let's see what happens. All right, grower is concerned about soybean stand and is wanting to know if they should replant. Don't see a lot of beans out here, so you can't just immediately row them very good. Okay, this was planted May 16th. They're starting to get a little bit better as we get out here. So we're gonna do a stand count. We got our tape stretched. My leaf marker here is at 17 feet 5 inches. These are 15-inch rows. So 2 rows together will be 1/1000th of an acre. So we're gonna count these 2 rows, see what our number is. We got 79 on that first stand count. That's right on the edge. That is right on the edge of what I would suggest to do. We are in one of the better spots here. So if the best is borderline, let's go take a look at what some of the worst areas look like. So it actually gets better as we get out here. We got rows. It gets a little thin around that groundhog hole and that groundhog hole. I think the customer probably is aware of that. If he wants to come in and do some groundhog hunting and fill it in, cool. Here we have a little bit of a thin spot, probably wetter. You can see those planting conditions weren't exactly ideal. We're going to see a lot of that across Ohio this year just because of the spring that we've had and the amount of rain that we've had. So really not too surprising there. But overall, this is actually a little bit better than I anticipated. And believe it or not, we still have some that are coming. That dude don't even need my help. He'll be just fine. Same with this one here. We'll just pop him up, and he's gonna be good to go. Actually, he's throwing the first leaves there. Was trying to. Beans are cool. They're super, super tough plants. Corn's kind of a wimp compared to beans. I don't know. I think beans are a cool plant. I guess I'll explain that a little bit further. I'm kind of known as being a bean guy, and I think I've gotten a little bit of that reputation just because like I actually pay attention to them. It's not that I necessarily like growing beans more than I like growing corn. I really like growing corn. I think it's a lot of fun. But beans are hard. They're not 1 + 1 = 2 with beans. Sometimes 1 + 1 can equal 3 or 4. Sometimes it equals -1. Like, beans are just super difficult to figure out. And so I think that, you know, my interest in them and my dedication towards them and my affinity towards them has helped in my career. I don't know. There's worse things than being known as a bean guy. But truth be told, I do actually like growing corn more. So, beans are cool though. That's all. That's a wild hen turkey. Right there. Maybe 50 yards away. And I'm standing out here in the middle of this field. Might have to talk to this guy about hunting. I'm standing here recording, talking, just walking around, and she just doesn't care. Cool. I mean, she clearly doesn't care that I'm here, so I guess I'm just gonna leave her be. Come eat some slugs, girlfriend. Speaking of slugs, look at that behemoth. Look at that monster. Oh, are you getting shy? You getting shy? You turtling up? I'm gonna get that turkey to come eat you. Wrap up on field 3 is that 99% of this field is fine. Actually, that 79,000 mark was one of the thinner spots. The rest of this field has been in really good shape. If the customer wants to come out and patch in those spots around the groundhog holes, have at it. But I don't know that it would be much more than just cosmetic and helping with weed control later on, which is important. So yeah, overall, better than I expected, to be honest. Bridge or crick? Bridge or crick? Oh, that is a very wet foot. All right, let's go have a gander at a field that actually has a good stand of beans. Not right here, because there's a groundhog that's probably hanging out and that stuff. So not here, but out there we got some beans. Let's go check them out. Oh no, we have dicamba damage. I'm just kidding, we don't have dicamba damage. But I did want to show you something because it does kind of resemble dicamba damage. What we've got here is some abnormal growth. You can see that heart-shaped leaf, the drawstring action going from the tip of the leaf, pulling back towards the center of the stem. This is going to be indicative of group 15 herbicide application. That is what was sprayed on this field. A growth regulator has not been applied to this field. Growth regulators can sometimes have similar abnormal growth, but group 15s are often used as residual herbicides, and they do a really nice job of that. So that's why this grower used it. Again, I just wanted to point this out because I think sometimes growers get a little bit quick to blame growth regulators like 2,4-D or dicamba when we can see some abnormal growth associated with group 15 herbicides as well. This is cosmetic. It will grow through it. Won't be a big deal. And these beans are going to be just fine. And that's going to be a wrap for crop scouting for the day. Thanks for coming along. Hope you learned something. If you did, like, subscribe, and we'll catch you again on the next one. I should have some pretty cool content here coming up shortly that I can share with you in the next couple days. Stay tuned.